Today we got two hard shell jackets from Arcteryx, the Beta AR and also the Rush. Both these jackets feature Gore-Tex Pro and they are hard shell jackets, so they pack no insulation. They do a great job keeping the rain, the wind, and the snow out so you can stay nice and warm and dry. The AR is a pretty popular all-round kind of jacket, where the Rush is a specialty jacket for skiing and snowboarding. So let's check them out in a bit more detail. Arcteryx is one of the top outdoor clothing companies that specializes in getting technical apparel for the backcountry. Their clothing is also stylish, as well as providing an excellent fit and great functionality. But they are one of the more expensive brands out there. Arcteryx is based out of Canada and has built a reputation of being an extreme technical gear provider. Two jackets that have been a staple for Arcteryx is the Beta AR and the Rush. Both these jackets are hard shell Gore-Tex shells that also have some great functionality for their specific purposes. Both of them have been around for years, going through small minor revisions as well as some color refreshes. The Rush jacket is a ski and snowboarding purpose jacket that is built for backcountry touring. As a result, this jacket has specific features for that task, such as a longer cut, a looser fit, as well as a nice large storm hood. It comes in various colors, and each year they update it with a new color scheme. This color scheme for the Rush is the Firecracker, and it sells new for $700. The Beta AR stands for all-rounder, and it is a jacket that is really a jack of all trades. This is the more burly version of the Beta LT jacket, and it also has some cool unique features. It's still lightweight, packable, and highly versatile. And that's really what makes this jacket stand out and be unique. It's a jacket that can be used for all sorts of activities, where the Rush is probably a bit more ski and snowboard specific. One of the distinguishing features of the Beta AR is their drop hood as well as their collar. And we'll talk a bit more about that as we go. The Beta AR does come in various colors. It's refreshed every year. This color scheme for the Beta AR is their jungle color, and it sells new for $600. Now let's talk about some of the differences of these jackets, and let's start with the shell fabric. The Rush for the outer shell features a 3-layer Gore-Tex Pro that is 80 denier. This is most rugged of Gore-Tex Pro, and so it's going to be super durable. This is also Blue-Signed approved material. It also has taped seams throughout and is coated with a DWR finish. So this is a great material that strikes a balance between more durable and still being breathable. The Beta AR, on the other hand, features a hybrid construction of materials. In the body area where you see this lighter color, you're actually getting a 3-layer Gore-Tex Pro that is 40 denier. 40 denier is great for high output activities, so it stays really breathable while also providing some durability. Obviously, it's not as durable as 80 denier Gore-Tex Pro, so you actually have in the shoulders, upper arm areas, and the hood and collar, you actually have 80 denier built in as well. And so those areas are reinforced with that most rugged Gore-Tex Pro material as well. So the Beta AR actually is providing a good balance between being lightweight, breathable, and also durable. Both these jackets also have a Rico reflector built into the left arm shoulder. And what this does is it reflects a signal back to search and rescue in emergency situations such as avalanche. As a result, both these jackets can be used for skiing and snowboarding and snow sport activities. Now, as I mentioned, both these jackets have no insulation. These are just shell jackets, so they're meant to go over insulation layers. So don't count on these providing any warmth. They do an excellent job of blocking the weather, but they don't provide the warmth for you. Let's talk about the weight. The Rush jacket's gonna weigh 18.2 ounces, or that's 515 grams. The Beta AR, on the other hand, weighs 16.3 ounces, or that's 461 grams. So comparing these two jackets, the Rush is gonna be heavier by about 2 ounces. Let's talk about breathability. Now, Gore-Tex Pro is a very breathable kind of material, but the thinner the Gore-Tex Pro, the more breathable it will be. So as a result, you actually have more breathability with the Beta AR compared to the Rush. Now, looking at the sides of these two jackets, they both have pit zips, and this is a crucial thing for outer layers as it helps you dump heat when you're overheating. Now, the Beta AR has some extremely large pit zips, they're about 2 to 3 inches longer than the Rush pit zips. As a result, the Beta AR is going to help you dump heat faster than you would in the Rush. Now, looking at the stitching and seams of these jackets, they are very high quality. The stitching is superb, and that's no surprise coming from an Arcteryx garment. The zippers in the front use YKK zippers, and these are excellent high quality and dependable zippers. I've never had any issues with them. Behind the zipper, they each have a wind flap to help prevent wind from penetrating through. And these zippers are also coated and are watertight, so no water is going to penetrate through those zippers as well. Looking at the outside pockets, both the Rush and the Beta AR have some high zip front hand pockets. They're higher than your normal jacket, and this is a result so you can wear your hip belt or a harness and your hand pockets are still going to be accessible. Both the hand pockets are zippered as well as watertight as well. Now, in the newest model of the Rush, there is an additional accessory pocket on the front chest area, and mine doesn't have it here since it's a previous year version. Another thing that the Rush has that is really nice is on the left arm there is a zippered pocket, and this is nice if you're going to go to ski resorts. You can store your ski pass right in there. But for the Beta AR, you don't have any other additional pockets other than the 2 front zippered hand pockets. Opening up the Rush, you can see inside you have 2 additional interior pockets. On the left side, you have this small zippered pocket here to put some personal belongings in that you want to keep secure. And on the right side, you actually have this drop pocket. And the drop pocket's really nice if you want to store goggles or gloves. It's a nice area to store that. Another thing you see with the Rush is you also have this built-in snow skirt. Now, the snow skirt's really great to help you prevent getting snow up in your jacket and down your pants. Also, if you have an Arcteryx bib, you also have these locks which are compatible with those bibs, and they'll lock nice and securely to prevent snow from going in. Now, comparing that to the Beta AR, you do not have any snow skirts, but you only have 1 zippered pocket on the left side, and it's that inner closure zipper pocket so you can store some personal belongings, but you don't have that drop pocket on the right side. Both these jackets also have some great cuffs as well that are Velcro. They're large and not as thin as some of the other jackets that Arcteryx makes. Now with this, you can see that I do have a little rub here. That was the result of a rope tow from holding on to that. That would have happened with either jacket if I was wearing it, but it happened on my Rush. It's a little rubber coating on the top of it to allow you to grip it real easily, even when you're wearing gloves. And these sleeves will go over your gloves, and by using these cuffs, you can get a very good seal to prevent any cold air from going up your arm. Now, one of the biggest differences between these 2 jackets is the hoods. The Rush uses what is called a storm hood, where the Beta AR uses what's called a drop hood. For the Rush Storm Hood, as you can see, the collar is built in conjunction with the hood. It also has a reinforced brim as well to prevent raindrops or snow from falling in your face. Now, the Storm Hood is great if you use your hood a lot and you want that additional protection and coverage over your face as well. It is a helmet compatible hood, so it can go over a ski helmet very nicely. And you also have it fully adjustable. You have a cinch in the back to tighten it, and then you also have these cinch pulls in the front to adjust it as well to get a precise fit. So it can cinch down if you're not wearing a helmet, and it can expand if you are. Now, the Beta AR features a drop hood, and this is something that's unique to the Beta AR. The drop hood has your hood that can drop while you still have your collar that can go fully up and still be functional with your hood down as well. And since the hood and collar are separate, you can have the collar fully zipped up so you have that protection around your neck while the hood is down. And as a result, that's not going to cause any tension between the hood and collar. Now, if you did try that with the Rush, you do have to unzip the collar a little bit to put the hood down and release a little bit of tension. So if you're one who likes to zip up your jacket for that extra protection, but you don't use the hood quite a bit, this might be pretty appealing for you. The hood is there to come up when you need it and still provide protection. And I really like this when I'm skiing because I don't ski often with a hood on, but I do enjoy the extra protection I can get by having my jacket fully zipped up and covering my chin and mouth area. The drop hood also has a cinch in the back as well as some pull cinches in the front to really dial in your fit. One of the biggest cons though with this drop hood, because the collar is separate, if you do want your collar up and you have layers underneath, if your layers actually also have hoods, it can create a lot of tightness and tension around your neck, which can produce some uncomfort. Where on the Storm Hood, you really don't have that issue as much if you do have layers that have hoods as well. Now my advice, if you do go with the Beta AR with that storm hood, that you do get your mid layers underneath that don't have hoods. That will be a whole lot easier and will not have as much discomfort as a result. Both the Rush and the Beta AR have this micro suede on the inside, so you don't get that abrasive feel when it touches your face. So one of the things you want to ask yourself when you're looking at these two jackets is, do you prefer a storm hood or a drop hood? Now some love that drop hood with that collar and others prefer that storm hood. But if you like that hybrid kind of construction that the Beta AR does produce, they do make a special Beta AR that comes with a storm hood instead of this drop hood and collar. Now both these jackets feature hem cinch pulls that are on the inside. There's 2 of them, and this does a good job of cinching the bottom of your jacket to prevent any cold drafts or snow from coming in. Let's talk about the fit. Both these jackets have what I would say is a loose fit. Arcteryx calls this a regular fit, which provides a lot of room for movement as well as additional room for layering underneath. From my experience, the Rush feels a bit looser than the Beta AR, and this is understandable since it's mainly geared for snow sports, so it's going to provide more room for more layers. Both these jackets have a drop hem in the back, but the Rush is actually a longer jacket and it has a bigger drop hem as well. As a result, the Rush does feel a little bit looser and more baggy than the Beta AR. Let's talk about durability and performance. Both these jackets, being Gore-Tex Pro, are very highly durable. I have tested both of these out in very strong winds, blizzard-like conditions, and in the rain, and I've had no issues staying comfortable and dry. I've also used both of these while split boarding uphill, and I really enjoy the breathability of both of them. I've had no issues as far as durability with the jackets as far as this one little rub area where it rubbed on the rope toe, but that was really my fault for grabbing that rope and having the sleeve of that jacket pressed against that rope as well. Other than that, I've snowboarded through trees and rubbed against branches and stuff, and none of these jackets have torn or ripped in any way. As I said, with the Beta AR being that hybrid construction, you're kind of getting the best of both worlds. 40 denier in the body and the 80 denier in the more highly abrasive areas. So you get durability while also extreme breathability as well. The Rush will be the more durable since it's 80 denier overall, so just be careful if you do go with the Beta AR, be careful in those less abrasive areas to get any wear or tear on that. Let's talk about compression. Now, as you're probably going to guess, the Beta AR will be more compressible, and that's because it does use less denier. So both these jackets can compress into its inner hood. So we'll go ahead and do that. All right, so here's the Beta AR compressed in its hood. So we'll go ahead and compress the Rush as well. All right, so here are the two compressed in their hoods. They are kind of similar. The Rush slightly more bulky just because it's a little bit thicker denier. So concluding thoughts, both these jackets are going to do an excellent job keeping you nice and protected from the elements. But when deciding between these two jackets, you really need to ask yourself, what are you going to be using them for in their specific uses? And another thing you need to ask yourself is, do you like the drop hood and collar of the Beta AR, or do you like more of the storm hood for the Rush? If you're looking for that do-it-all jacket that can do mountaineering, hiking, as well as skiing and snowboarding, then the Beta AR is an excellent choice. But if you're looking for a bit more winter-specific kind of jacket for snowboarding and skiing and maybe some touring, then the Rush is an excellent jacket for that. The Rush really isn't the best for hiking and mountaineering. It's a bit more baggy and also heavier. But if I had to choose between these two jackets, really, I'd have to go with the Beta AR because the pros outweigh the cons. The first pro for the Beta AR is it's cheaper by about $100. So with the savings, you can actually buy a mid layer to go underneath to keep you warm. Another pro is it is lighter than the Rush. So if you use it for backpacking and hiking, that's going to be a bit more ideal. Now there are pros and cons to the drop hood and collar. The first thing, as a pro, I do like about the drop hood and collar is you can zip up this collar and it covers your neck and chin area very nicely without having to put on the hood. I really like that because I typically don't use the hood very often, especially when I'm skiing or snowboarding. Another pro for the Beta AR is it's actually more breathable than the Rush. Having 40 denier in the body really enables it to breathe a bit more than the Rush does, which is 80 denier overall. Another pro is you can just use it for a whole lot more activities than the Rush. The Rush is a bit more specific for skiing, snowboarding, and touring, where you can use this for climbing, backpacking, hiking, just in the rain as a rain jacket as well. So lots of different uses. And the cool thing is it's not as baggy as the Rush, so you can use it for a lot of different activities. Let's consider the cons. And the first con for the Beta AR is you don't have a snow skirt built in like you do with the Rush. So if you are going to take it skiing or snowboarding, make sure to wear a bib so you don't have snow coming in your jacket. Another con is if you do wear layers underneath, especially layers with a hood, it can make the collar a little bit tight and uncomfortable with the drop hood. This really happens a bit more in that neck area, and so if you wear more than one layer underneath, it can be a bit tight. Another con is you don't have that zippered pocket on the sleeve like you do with the Rush, so if you are going skiing and need to hold your ski pass, you can't hold it there. Another con compared to the Rush is the Beta AR is slightly less durable because it uses 40 denier in the body, so it's not going to be as durable as the 80 denier overall that the Rush uses. So what did you think of these two jackets? Which one won the jacket battle for you? Was it the Arcteryx Rush or the Beta AR? Leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts. If you like what you saw, make sure to give me a thumbs up. Also subscribe for more jacket battle content like this. And as always, thanks for watching.